The Steven Universe resurgence is about to pay off for fans across the world, as a major announcement seems to be right around the corner. The return of Steven Universe will likely be unveiled in just over a month at Annecy Film Festival. Look, I've made a few videos like these, but just like with regular shows comeback, I wouldn't be making this video if I wasn't 99.99% sure that something was about to happen, leaving like a 0.0001% chance open though. So let's lay everything out on the table about Steven Universe's future. Not to be confused with the TV show Steven Universe Future, but you probably already knew that. So what is Annecy? It's the world's biggest and longest running animation film festival found in Annecy, France. And yes, it's open to the public. Probably easier to get in than Comic-Con. And it's a great way to get exposed to new, exciting works of art from all across the globe. The festival celebrates animation from all over the world, but over the last couple of years, a lot of big entertainment companies found in the West have had a larger presence at the event, bringing a ton of news with them. Like this year, Paramount's revealing the first look at the new Avatar movie, Aang the Last Airbender. It's pretty sweet they're leaning more into Annecy than somewhere like Comic-Con, where animation is usually treated with a lot less fanfare, despite the fact that people like me would be camping out at 6 a.m. to get into a Steven Universe panel. Cartoon Network and Warner Bros. Animation have also been saving their heavy hitters for Annecy. Last year, they showcased the first look at Gumball Season 7, and they also unveiled regular show The Lost Tapes, the new Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and all the new Adventure Time projects. And that wasn't all. That's a ton of major announcements that didn't just make the crowd go wild, but broke the internet for an afternoon. All eyes were on Warner. So moving forward, there's going to be a greater expectation for announcements like these to be made at Annecy. And we can't ignore the fact that pretty much all of these announcements were of established IPs. Series had already made a name for themselves, and thus, the rich guys in suits know it's a safe bet because there's a pre-existing audience. They don't have to worry about someone finding the show. They already grew up loving it, so they'll watch more of it. Fiona and Cake being the biggest example, and definitely the show that opened the floodgates for regular show and now potentially Steven Universe to come back. And Warner Animation seems to be leaning into their presence at Annecy as they produced a pretty hype promo drumming up anticipation for the festival. So we can safely assume if they're making the trailer for the event, then they're coming correct with some pretty big news. Oh look, there are the crystal gems. Their presence doesn't really confirm anything since they seem to draw whoever they wanted here. But the gems are noticeably in front, surrounded by peers with ongoing series, except Craig and the Eds. Now, what does allude to something Steven Universe related happening at the festival is the Cartoon Network Studios' 25th anniversary panel. Not to be confused with Cartoon Network, the channel's anniversary, as that is now 32 years old. They were airing nothing but reruns in those early years. Everyone on this panel is involved with an ongoing project at the studio, or well, the two floors at Warner Bros. Animation that they call Cartoon Network Studios now. Anyways, lo and behold, Rebecca Sugar is a part of this panel, which on its own isn't that surprising because we know she's working on an Adventure Time movie. But then, I saw a somewhat cryptic tweet from the great Ian Jones-Cordy, Sugar's spouse, the creator of OKKO, and executive producer on Steven Universe. After Sugar, he's the one who would know the most about the franchise's future. With just one emoji, Ian set the fandom into a frenzy, quoting a tweet about the panel with nothing but some shifty eyes. What are you hiding, Ian? To put this all into perspective, both Rebecca and Ian have advocated for more Steven Universe numerous times over the last couple of years. Ian has even prompted people to direct requests for a new show at Amazon in particular, which we talked about before. Sugar also made that poster showing the characters a little farther in the future, which to me felt like a little bit of bait to get fans talking. Oh, when did the gems reunite? What's going on with Steven nowadays? These are the questions you're gonna ask after staring at this for like a minute or two. Circling back to these eyes though, Ian's not dumb. He knows the power that a vague tweet like this holds to a starving Steven Universe fandom. He's also thrown fans off before, like when he outright denied Rose was Pink Diamond. This man understands the art of trolling is what I'm trying to say. If he wants to be obvious about something, he'll be obvious. And this tweet, to me, screams obvious. If you don't know anything about his advocacy for more Steven Universe or his silly antics online, this obviously just looks like an emoji and I look crazy. But when you lay out the timeline, this man went from participating in renewed Steven Universe trends, pointing fans in the direction of Prime Video for a revival, to going kinda silent on the matter. Granted, he's busy, to suddenly popping out with his eyeballs at the mention of a panel at a festival that's gaining a reputation to people online for making major animation announcements. Keep in mind, the Adventure Time movie is already public info. Learning more about that here is kind of a given. Also keep in mind that this is an anniversary panel, and Warner is leaning heavy into revivals right now. Announcing a sequel or spin-off to one of your most popular shows at a panel like this by one of the panelists who created the show just makes too much damn sense. Also, corporations like money and nostalgia is in right now, which is why they're only making reboots, and despite the circumstances in which the show ended, a lot has clearly changed. Different people are in charge of Warner's animation division, and there's a much bigger appetite for more Steven. Like, if you ever had a Steven Universe phase, I know this show has been all over your TikTok feed at some point over the last few months, or reels, or even shorts. And if you don't use any of those, congratulations, you beat Brainrot. But you know who also knows that Steven Universe is popular on TikTok right now? Yeah, I don't know what I was doing with that muscle man. Warner Bros. Animation! And I'd wager the Hulu streaming numbers are nothing to sneeze at either. The kind of numbers that say, hey, maybe we should make more. I've noticed that people online like to undermine how popular Steven Universe was. Obviously the fans who tuned in back in the day know, but a lot of people who only watched regular show and Gumball and maybe Adventure Time, they like to pretend like the show was some sort of failure and that no one wants a revival, which clearly is not true. People assume that Sugar can't take on any other projects while juggling the Adventure Time movie, but like, she did it before. Steven Universe the movie and Steven Universe Future were being worked on at the same time. The movie started up production around fall 2017, and Future started around the following summer. Obviously the movie was a massive undertaking, but a lot of work also went into Future, as there were a lot of new assets they had to make. Designs and locations they had to update and change, even if they were able to borrow a bit from the movie. And as far as we know, Sugar isn't like the only director or executive producer of this film. It's always been a project that she's tackling along with Adam Muto and Over the Garden Wall's Patrick McHale. Plus, you know, a whole crew of artists and production peeps. So it has always been feasible that Sugar could work on both the Adventure Time movie while also having time to work on a pitch for a new Steven Universe project and have it enter the development stage, which is normal for the industry. A lot of pitches come to life while the creator hustles on whatever show they're currently on, which I believe is partially because the development stage tends to be unpaid, so it's like, you still gotta make rent? Does that provide a healthy work-life balance? Absolutely not, but it's the nature of the game. So TLDR, Rebecca Sugar has been advocating for a Steven sequel while working at Cartoon Network again. Her husband, who's always been heavily involved in the show, might be drumming up hype for a panel she's on, and this panel is at a festival that has had major Cartoon Network announcements in the past, and it's happening at a time where it feels like all they're making is reboots. And this is the only big 2010s Cartoon Network show that hasn't been revived yet. Looking at all this individually, yes, it can be read as a nothing burger, but when brought together, you get pieces of a star-shaped puzzle that reads, "We're so back." I guess we'll find out if I'm wrong in mid-June, and if I'm wrong, I'll own up to my L. I don't know, make Steven Universe Rewritten Part 2. I'm clearly not prone to being wrong. I got the detail about why Diamond's color's wrong in my secrets video, and now I get to reissue a retraction in the next one. And change that thumbnail. I'm cooked! For now, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below, and keep the conversation going over on Twitter and Insta at AwestruckVox and at Roundtable Vids. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox, signing out.